All right. Well, welcome to the newest creation from your friends here at Hey Homies. We're calling this Let's Go, the podcast about the Aquabats SuperShow. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Kay.
Wow, that's weird. First off, we want to thank our patrons. This was for you first. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this, and we really appreciate your support. So this being the first episode of the show, we figured we'd start at the beginning of the Super Show proper, Manant. We will go back and cover Tortilla Trouble at some point, as that was a pilot. It's not an official episode, so, we'll get there. To get us started on this episode, Kay is going to give us a little background on some of the familiar faces you can see in this episode.
Okay. So
Somebody didn't read the notes.
I have them pulled up.
Oh, okay.
I'm so used to us just going into stuff that
We're sharing.
I'm not used to being the one to do things. Okay. So to start off, this episode was directed by Jason DeVilliers. He also worked on Yo Gabba Gabba. He was one of the directors for Yo Gabba Gabba. The guest for this episode was Rick Taylor, and he starred as the genie that appeared in Crash's flashback, which was one of the funniest scenes of that episode, which we'll get into later. So the titular villain of this episode, Manant, or Manant, whichever you prefer, he was brought to life by two different individuals. So you have Mr. Lawrence. He did Plankton from SpongeBob. He also does the opening narration, the somewhere parts that you hear in every episode of the Super Show. He does that too. And he voiced Manant. And then with the voice out of the way, Art Mitchell of Supernova was the one in the actual costume the ant had in the suit that was on screen. And personally, I think he did a fantastic job, even if it was just moving a head around and making gestures in a suit.
Yeah, he had really good physical acting.
Yeah, for sure. And that's important when you're playing a costume character.
Yeah, and
that's very important.
From friends of mine that are actors, it's hard to do that with somebody else's voice. You don't have the emotion, that they're just using their physicality, and he did an awesome job.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, if any of you know the group Bad Credit, both of the members of Bad Credit were in this episode. So you have Dallas, aka Dr. Cliff Mixtable, as firefighter number 2 in the credits at the end. And then Matt Gorney, who a lot of Bats fans know from miscellaneous other things, he was one of Manant's henchmen in the episode. So
I forgot his Bad Credit name. He was Optimus Rhyme.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to put that in the notes. I was reading along with what you're saying, and I'm like, oh, I put Dr. Cliff Mixtable in there, but I forgot Optimus Rhyme. So, yeah, so there's a lot of familiar faces. We all know that that's kind of how the Super Show goes. Whether they're credited or not, there's always somebody to be on the lookout, somebody or something to be on the lookout for. So we start off. I mentioned that we're gonna talk about Tortilla Trouble later, but the show starts previously on the Aquabats Super Show, and there was a bunch of weird clips, and I think there was even clips from future episodes, but then there was also clips from Tortilla Trouble in there, which I thought was kind of a cool little nod to the pilot. They'd shown that at shows and whatnot, and I think it was online probably. So had you seen that before? Had either of you seen that before?
No. Prior to this coming out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, I think I've talked about it on the regular podcast. I got into Super Show. I've been a lifelong Aquabats fan, but I got into Super Show when it was brand new on the hub. So when I saw
Mhm.
Manant the first time, it was new because I
Oh,
had
okay.
kids that were the exact right age to like the show, and
Mhm.
I just happened to be the adult version of a large child that would love this show. So I didn't even know the Aquabats were making a show at the
Mhm.
time. Being like 100% transparent, I was a drill sergeant. I didn't know anything in the world other than what I was doing at work because I was
Mhm.
working so much. So when I saw this on the hub, that became like our thing, right? We could DVR it and then watch it. So I had no idea they were even making a show. So
Oh,
when I
okay.
saw it previously on, I was like, oh, did I miss something? And it makes you feel really dumb. And then when you actually watch all the episodes, you're like, I missed things because there's things in here that don't exist.
Mhm. They do that stuff on purpose.
I know, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So, Kate, you're a fairly new fan to the band. Did you see Tortilla Trouble first, or did you see Manant first, or did you even watch them in order?
I think I watched Tortilla Trouble first because I watched them with our friend Parker.
Mm-hmm.
We marathoned through the entire series that was up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I watched Tortilla Trouble first, and then I went into the proper.
Sweet. Yeah, I remember seeing Tortilla Trouble. They played it at some shows. They would just kind of stop in the. I don't know if yeah, I think they kind of played through the show, like played maybe half the show, and then in the middle they dropped it, and it was pretty cool. Nobody really understood what was going on or whatever. I think they said that they were maybe trying to get a show, but I mean, how many times have we heard that
Yeah,
over the years?
that's a tradition with the
Mm-hmm.
Aquabats is like, here's this cool clip that we made. Oh yeah, we're talking to some people, and then 4 years later, it's like, well, that never happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But we've said it a million times on Hey Homies. I'm just really glad we got Super Show.
Mm-hmm.
They did such a good job with it.
Yep. So the episode starts off and they're playing this birthday party, and I'd love to hear them play this song.
It's the funniest way to start a show
Mm-hmm.
ever. Of just that joke, the like we're gonna play forever, and then
Mm-hmm.
they really are like everybody's asleep. Like it's so funny.
Yeah. It was perfect Aquabats way to open the show.
Well, and
So
we'll also get into a different significance of that probably at the end of season 1.
Well, I know what you're referencing. We'll talk about it throughout the entire season. It's already in our notes, but
mhm.
I don't know. That whole birthday party sequence is so.
Mhm.
It's one of those ideas that somebody was just sitting around like, wouldn't this be funny? And then
Mhm.
it kept going.
I
Of like
think that's
developing
how
jokes.
yeah, I think that's pretty much how this whole show goes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
It-
just snowballs into
yeah.
various different ongoing jokes like the don't look at me thing and learning and growing,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Exactly. So yeah, so they're playing the birthday party, then there's an explosion, and they run out front and they jump in the battle tram, the first shot of the battle tram, and they jump in, they're buckling their seat belts, and it takes a ridiculous amount of switches, both on and off and back again, to start the battle tram.
you know what's stupid about that? So yeah, it's a funny joke of like how many minutes can we make this last? If you ever have to get into a large armored vehicle, that's reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very specific sequence, and it's a lot of things, and you're like, why does this take 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm. But if you watch, there's the same set of switches, and you can see someone's hand reach over, and they it's total physical comedy. They slide their hand in, the switches go up, and then someone buckles their seatbelt, and then the hand goes in, and the switches flip down. So I mean, it's total physical comedy that was thrown in there, and it did its job. It was funny. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So I figured Luke would have something to say on that about being in the military and
Yeah.
starting something.
I spent a long time on strikers. You can Google a picture of a striker. They're cool. I
Mhm.
like them a lot. But there's like large knobs you have to turn, and then like things have to switch from like red to yellow, and then you start it, and then it's got to idle. But the battle tram doing that when it's just 5 dudes in an RV, it's like that's very
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah. And it hadn't even been upgraded yet with the missiles and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. That was just the basic battle tram. And most of our listeners probably won't get it because they're too young, but Luke might. It reminds me of the startup sequence in Airwolf. Did you
Yeah.
ever watch that show?
I did. It was much faster, but it also looked like the old like 66 Batman
Mm-hmm.
where Adam West would like hit all kinds of switches and then
Mhm.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a theme throughout this entire show. I actually put that in the notes later on. I mean, there's so much of this show that reminds me of the 66 Batman. I loved that show growing up. I mean, I wasn't old enough to watch it new,
Mhm.
but watching it in reruns, I love that show.
I think most of our generation really appreciated that Batman for what it was, and you can see it like you did put it in the notes. You can see it in a lot of ways. There's a lot of stuff that I think our parents' generation saw as kids that are referenced in Super Show that we also experienced. That's a whole thing we could get into that I've recognized. Our generation seem to watch old media a lot, where
Mhm.
this generation doesn't. So
Mhm.
I think kids are seeing that because this is very, and it's because the Aquabats hung out with them. Sid Marty Croft. This is very
Mhm.
influenced by that because that was the Commander's generation, and that's also what we got to watch. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's cool. I think
Yeah.
that's a huge appeal to me, not just as a parent but as a fan of the Aquabats. Is like how much they included those old kids shows.
Mhm. We've now brought Batman into Let's Go. It's moved on from Hey Homies.
In the inaugural episode.
Exactly.
All right. Well, this is my last episode of this show.
That's just how it goes.
Exactly. So they're driving around, or they're driving to catch up with whatever the disturbance was. Commander's feeling a little hungry, and Jimmy scans him, tells him he's hungry, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he tells Jimmy, "What? Speak English, robot. English." And we get a nice English accent out of Jimmy.
And he changes what he says slightly to
Yeah.
sound more British.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's just more that there was physical comedy there too, but then the lines made it just as fun or more funny.
I don't think that this might be controversial, but I don't think anybody's going to think it's controversial. Jimmy is the best part of the entire Super Show because he gets the best jokes.
Wow, that was a
Oh,
bold
yeah.
statement.
The whole series, tell me anybody has. Now, they're all funny. They all get funny things to do, and they're all great.
Mhm.
But Jimmy gets the best jokes because he gets to be like the sarcastic straight guy to everybody else's goofy Aquabat.
Yeah, well, he's a robot.
Yeah,
Exactly,
he's
that's
supposed
why
to be
he's
the
awesome.
down to earth one.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's kind of a recurring theme throughout the entire Super Show, and we'll probably talk about it in multiple episodes. But the whole thing with Jimmy and the rest of the bats is he's the rational one. He's the Velma of the
Mm-hmm.
group. And I forget what I was gonna say.
Oh no.
Jimmy's the best Aquabat on the show, and Velma's the best character on Scooby Doo.
I mean, if you want to say that, I was thinking more along the lines of one of the recurring gags is that he's always told that he is too complicated in his words, I guess. He doesn't match the energy of the other bats. He's not quite the same as the other ones. And I think
Well,
I'm completely forgetting what I'm trying to say here.
well, the other four are way more goofy. He's more straight, like that straight comedy kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's
he's
like a
dry
running
and
gag is that he's not the same as the others.
yeah, and that makes sense because he's a robot, or is he? Dun dun dun. So we got our first. They're driving. We hear the robot's English, and we get our first Gloopy commercial in the Super Show. I obviously don't need one because I've got my fantastic mustache and goatee going on.
I look like an idiot with a mustache, so I don't need a hairy hider.
Yeah, would either of you wear one?
I cannot stand ventriloquists. I'm an adult, so I'll chew gum if I want to.
Oh, you could get the LaBouffe. Was one of them. There was like the push broom.
I think that was always something that appealed to the entire pit when they'd stop and show a Gloopy
Mhm.
commercial at shows. So
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
them transfer that to like the new generation is awesome.
They're not doing that as much anymore.
They aren't.
They've gone to less of the goofing around and more of just the playing the music, which I can appreciate because you get more songs. But I
Yeah.
do miss the Gloopy commercials.
Gave me a break when I was a younger kid getting beat up in a pit. I was like,
Yeah.
"Good, let's just watch this thing so people stop hitting me."
There's not as much of that going on anymore now. Everybody's
I
got to be so
know.
safe. So yeah, we go out of Harry Hyder. We go to the Burrito Brothers. What is it called? They went to the Burrito Brothers Burger Hut or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It was
Something
something.
like that. It was
Yeah.
something ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's on fire. Whatever. Fireman tells them that they were too late, asking them what they were doing, and then
The most emotional fireman ever.
yeah,
That guy
exactly.
was upset.
Yeah, he was very mad. He was there to put the fire out, and he wanted to know why the Aquabats didn't stop it to begin with.
And you know what? We know more because we've seen the whole show. But why isn't he blaming Super Magic Power Man and Lanolin Lady and Catboy and Chainsaw, like all these other random superheroes? It's just the Aquabats problem.
Yeah.
Maybe the Aquabats are the superheroes of that city, and the other ones are in other cities. But when Space Monster M comes later, everybody has to get together and like it's like a big Avengers team up.
Do you mean like a
Superhero boundaries.
yeah, like the Aquabats serve a specific
Vicinity.
area in the city,
Yeah.
and then
Like San Fernando, California.
Where they're all
Yeah.
in the same city, but the Aquabats just focus on food crimes.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
Yep. So they go in and they find they get attacked by Manant's henchmen with their cool little motorcycle helmets with antennas. They have a little fight with a pretty cool fight song too. Manant's theme is pretty pretty
It's
dope.
really good.
Yeah.
I wish they'd done that for every episode. I not every villain got their own theme. And then they go outside. They find the Manant video or the DVD, and on their way back to the battle tram to go watch the DVD, we stumble upon a little doggy. He's in the back of a moving van. He's dressed up as a corn on the cob.
Is that a corn dog?
Yeah. It attracts our friend Crash, and he first says, "Is that a corn dog?" And he walks in and picks it up and realizes it's not. And that's where the fun begins.
The sequence of watching the dog, watch him walk towards the dog, move around and everything, and then it zooms in and it's a stuffed dog.
Stuffed animal.
I swear, like I've seen this episode a lot, and watching
it's
it
a
again,
real dog at first, isn't it?
Yes.
watching it again, I was laughing out loud at that, and I've seen it 30 times. Like, it's still that funny to me that's so stupid.
Yeah. So he gets tricked by the little doggy as he yells, and we get his first power use. We get to see him grow, and he gets stuck in the back of the van, and Manant's guys close the door and they drive away.
A reinforced medium-sized moving van.
Mhm.
Is enough
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I was
couldn't
gonna say
crash.
that
Crash.
van is like surprisingly reinforced.
Who grows to the size of a small mountain later gets
Yeah.
trapped in a medium-sized moving van.
Yeah, like a U-Haul truck.
Yeah.
Which you could poke a hole in with the corner of your couch if you try hard enough. and Crash couldn't get out of it. Now,
You
do we
sound
think
like
he
you
was
speak
just
from experience.
Oh, I've moved a few times. Do you think he was just confused, or maybe Manant did reinforce it with something?
Name an episode where Crash isn't confused.
Exactly. So he was just confused
Interfering with
by
the
the
dog.
dog. Yeah, he was confused by the dog, and then he grew and got stuck. So they go into the battle tram. They load up the DVD, and we get a throwback already to starting the battle tram. Jimmy has to type for an hour to start the DVD playing. When most of the time you just put the DVD in, it starts playing.
You know what that reminded me of?
What's that?
When I was moving from Tennessee to Pennsylvania, we didn't have all I kept for like watching stuff. Like, we didn't have the internet because we were moving. All I kept was my Xbox. and I tried to put it in a DVD or Blu-ray or something, and I didn't download it. I hadn't watched a Blu-ray on there yet. So I was like, oh, well, I guess this doesn't work. That's what I felt like, was like Jimmy had to make the DVD work.
Had to hack in.
Yeah. I ended up having to take my Xbox and a TV to some place that had free Wi-Fi to download an app to watch a
Oh,
Blu-ray on my Xbox.
Wow.
Why your Xbox of all things?
I didn't have a disk drive on my computer, and I only had an Xbox for a game system, and it was like a bunch of movies for me and my kids, and then because we were moving.
Mm-hmm. I've watched several movies on a PlayStation.
Because when you don't have the internet to stream everything that's ever been available to all of humanity, like you gotta be picky and watch it on your Xbox.
Yeah, kids, imagine not having Netflix and Hulu and every other streaming system under the sun, or YouTube even.
Paramount Plus is great.
Oh,
they don't sponsor us, so I don't care if you use them or not. I like it.
I only recently got Peacock, and that's because they have a whole bunch of Halloween movies on there.
Oh, I watched that new Halloween movie the other day.
Halloween Kills.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Don't say that. I want one of these streaming services to sponsor us. Hey, Peacock or Paramount Plus or Netflix or Hulu, or I don't know. I'd say Quibi, but they went out of business really quick.
I'm not talking down about Peacock. I'm just saying, unfortunately, that poor Halloween movie it could have been really good. The idea was there, but the writing and the acting was pretty bad. So back to your regularly scheduled Aquabats SuperShow podcast.
That was our inaugural derailing
tangent. Yeah. So after they watch Manant or Manant's little DVD.
Maybe Manant's saying it wrong.
Exactly. Where he tells them that he stole Crash, and they all look around and go, is that true, Crash?
He's not there.
More of that goofy comedy. We get our first Lil Bat cartoon. And can't we all just sympathize with how he felt in the morning? I know I do.
I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
You are? I used to be. I don't know what happened. I used to get up every day and just out the door. I was ready to go. Now here I am, 42 years old, and the last thing I want to do is wake up in the morning.
I've never been a morning person, so I can't sympathize with that at all.
It only gets worse too.
I don't sleep though, so maybe that's it. Maybe if you don't have a morning or night, you're just good.
I don't sleep either.
That's true.
Oh, well.
You know what I loved about the Lil Bat cartoon the first time I saw it? That was really the first time I got to see like Lil Bat with a personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see him on things, and he got his little facial expressions, but then it's like, oh, he's animated, and he's like doing Lil Bat things. Like that was so exciting.
Yeah, and he has a little voice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much of a voice. He doesn't say any words, but I mean, he's got expression and more than just his face, you know?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do with a character without giving them voice lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I thought it was perfect for Lil Bat. I don't know that I would want him to talk.
No,
I don't.
And I'm pretty sure they kept it that way the entire Super Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like my Lil Bat like I like my Mr. Bean.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't.
Not to be confused with our friend Bean.
No.
That'd be Miss Bean.
Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, they look a little different. I was gonna say similar. Oh man,
be on this show.
Woo, man, it is a rough go here. First time hosting.
It's a rough 8:30 p.m.
Ooh, are we gonna do this already?
I didn't date it. I just said we're recording this at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Gotcha. All right. So now I think this is probably some people's absolute most favorite part of this episode. Crash is outside. Well, no, we get to the flashback, and little Crash in his Aquabats uniform is playing in his sandbox with his GI Joes and his cars and all this kind of stuff, and he somehow finds a genie lamp in his sandbox. Had it been buried there for as long as he had lived in this house, or was that a new addition to the sandbox? Who knows? But he picks it up and cleans it off, and out comes Rip Taylor. And apparently he's free now. And he granted Crash one wish. And we find out that Crash wished for an ant-man hybrid for his dolls to fight.
Have you seen the big brain meme about that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm going to date this if you're on Reddit, on the Aquabats subreddit. Somebody today posted one, those galaxy brain memes of like, whatever. I'll send it. I'll put a link in the show notes when we post this, right? But it's like wishing for world peace, wishing to end world hunger, and then it's wishing for a half man, half villain to fight your dolls.
Yeah. And the fact that he said dolls, he couldn't say action figures or something like that.
Yeah, he said dolls. and then
Stupid.
Yeah.
After we get the apathetic Rip Taylor as the genie, after he disappears, we get Crash in drag coming out and yelling at Little Crash.
At Little Crash.
He says, Crash, did you break the toaster again?
That was the weirdest flashback. And I wouldn't want it any other way.
No,
Catherine McLarson, you are the best mom ever.
Is that canon as Catherine McLarson?
I'm pretty sure it was stated at some point that her name is Catherine, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not in Super Show lore, but in other lore, yeah, her name is Catherine.
I love that they had 4 other guys there that could have easily just been like, I'll just do it. But instead they were like, hey, Chad.
You're going to be your mom.
You're going to
put on a wig and a dress.
Yeah. Also,
and still wear your Aquabats hat, your Aquabats helmet and goggles, and just be Mom McLarson.
Also, don't even bother trying to change your voice. Just kind of screech a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
Yeah. The 5-year-olds watching won't get it, but their parents will really get it. And will be laughing hysterically, and the kids will be looking at them going, what is my mom or dad laughing at?
What I really love is I don't think Rip Taylor in his entire life has ever done lines. I think he just shows up and they're like, all right, your inspiration is you're a genie and this kid's kind of dumb. And then they just let him go because that's everything. That guy's been in media for 50 years. And like every single thing I've ever seen him in, that's him. Is like freaking out, throwing confetti. And he's perfect.
Very flamboyant. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's so funny.
Yeah. It just worked perfect. I mean, he was kind of the yang to Robin Williams's Ying Genie.
So I don't think you didn't put it in the notes.
What?
Why does Manant, why is he so dramatic? Mommy. Like, why? He literally just became a being and freaking out.
He was just born. That's what everybody says as soon as they're born.
Yeah. With a dramatic overacting accent. Mommy.
I mean, it happens again. What, next episode?
Yeah.
For what?
Magic egg? Or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that the very next episode? I don't know. I haven't looked ahead.
Jimmy Jr.?
Yeah, I haven't looked ahead yet, but I'm pretty sure that's the next episode.
Spoilers.
Whoopsie. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's what it is. It was just that initial imprint that we see in a lot of movies, like that kind of stuff. I mean, cartoons. I mean, how many like Looney Tunes cartoons is like a little baby bird been born and it imprints immediately on the first weird thing it sees, whether it's a cat or something that it shouldn't,
I mean, that's factual in like nature, right?
Yeah.
The funniest part about the Super Show is like, this is a thing that shouldn't exist that some insane little kid asked for from a genie. So we're already like deep into crazy territory.
Exactly.
And then they decide that the ant part takes over his brain, not the person part that makes him speak English or, stand upright or anything, make him bipedal. It's the part where he's imprinted as that's his mom, which ants also don't do.
Hey, this one does.
Why am I applying science to this show?
I don't know.
We're not doing science yet.
No, we're not there yet. But yeah, it was funny. I mean, and he's only ant from the shoulders up, as far as we know.
True.
I mean, other than that, he's man.
Just leave that there. It's not going anywhere else with that.
We kind of brought up my next note, but the overacting, especially by the Bat Commander, it is so 1960s Batman. I mean, it's not specifically that, but that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
And I would venture out on a limb. I don't have to think I'd go too far that the Bat Commander is a fan of the 60s Batman.
What I like about the way he approached it, and it's a theme through the entire show, anytime he's slightly inconvenienced or hungry, it's equivalent to Adam West's Batman almost being dead.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna get eaten by a shark, and he's like, "Gotta get my shark repellent." And the Bat Commander's like, "Oh, I'm starving because I haven't eaten 6 hours." Like, that's the best part of the way he overacts that. It's so good.
Yeah, and I mean that's been his character forever. I mean, the overacting and all that, and then you put it on television, and it's like ratcheted up just another notch, and he's so good at it.
Christian showing off those child acting chops that he developed over years and years of being on the Gummy Bears.
Dude, Gleaming the Cube was on TV this morning.
That's exciting.
Yeah, he's gonna get a royalty check
For 4 cents.
Probably.
He
could call us
money.
Huh?
He'll owe them money. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
his royalty checks are now from Gleaming the Cube. He has to send them 4 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's 66 Batman. We keep going back to Batman, but that was a huge part of my childhood, and I still love it to today. The next thing that happens is we get our first. They drove up. They find Crash buried. Oh, this was after Manant stole his growing powers and grew himself. Yeah. And they pull up in the battle tram, almost run over his head. And then he's under the battle tram, and he tells them to look underneath, and we get our first. It's a cartoon. It's on the bottom of the battle tram. And in my opinion, I put this in the notes. The It's a Cartoon was one of the best concepts of this show. What we find out at the beginning of season 2 about the cartoons from season 1 was, I mean, I would call it mind-blowing. I mean, the thought that went into this whole thing.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's some serious planning ahead that they had to do for that.
Mm-hmm.
To get that to work out in the end.
And we've said it on Hey Homies plenty. This is not a band that's known for thinking ahead. You know, they have a lot of really funny things that they sit on, and things that they're like, we would love to do this, but that's why we started saying Any Day Now, is things just don't happen with this band, right? Like, and it's not always their fault. Sometimes it's circumstance. Sometimes it's, you know, the nature of the business. But this was so well planned, and so, like, it wasn't just the planning, but the way it was executed when they got the opportunity. That you could argue this is one of the better things that's ever happened in kids TV.
Could you imagine them sitting down with the brass at the hub, and they're like, okay, we're going to do this show, and in this show we're going to have a cartoon that's going to take off from the end of this season and lead into the next season. I mean, that it just, I'd love to know who came up with the idea. And then the animation was amazing.
Yeah.
I think that was Pay, right?
Yeah, it was Pay. Either that or the animators like
copied the style
off of Pay's art and did it from there.
One of the things about, and one of you may remember this, I can't remember where I heard it, but one of the things I've read or seen on like extra features or whatever, the reason they did that was because they had 2 seasons planned, and they were going to make that one continuous story, and they were like, we might not get a second season. We have to make this a circle. Right?
Yeah.
We want to do both. How do we do both? That's great that, like, this band who had been kind of beat down on trying to get kids shows done for so long was like, we got our opportunity. Let's go. You know?
Yeah.
And it worked out. We'll probably talk about this on something other than just an episode, like than a regular episode. But they got this like perfect timing new network run by a toy company
Mhm.
They exploited it, and they did it exactly like I think anybody would want to, and they did it amazing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The only thing that didn't happen from the Super Show that I would have liked to have seen because of their partnership with Hasbro would have been action figures.
Yeah.
I mean, a battle tram and 5 Aquabats and maybe some villains. I mean, I that would have sold like hotcakes. I mean,
Imagine how angry you would have been if they did blind bags, and every single blind bag you open was Ron Mark.
you got Ron marked.
Every single one.
I don't know that I would have hated that. I'm not a Ron Mark hater.
Every third blind bag you open is Rachel Moonbug.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I got known to be a Rachel Stan. I think that's the right word, right, Ken?
Yeah.
Right, Kay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just call me Can?
I had two trains of thoughts going on. One was to say K, and the other was to go in another direction, and I mixed the two. So you became Can.
Can.
Or classic Hey Homies.
Yeah, exactly. So during the it's a cartoon, we get introduced to space bees, the most dangerous bees in space. Are there other bees in space? I mean, these were little bees wearing like bubble helmets.
It doesn't have to be a competition. They can just be space bees that are the most dangerous bees in space because they're the only bees in space.
Okay.
Kind of like us saying that we're the number one Aquabats podcast in the universe.
Hey, there's
We're
two
the-
now.
I mean, this is a spinoff.
It's still a second Aquabats podcast.
It's going to be sad when this one beats the original.
Oh man. Yeah. So we go through the cartoon, we meet Moon Cheese.
Who's modeled after one of the characters from Dragon Ball. I forget the name.
Oh, was he?
Piccolo.
I had no idea.
Isn't he?
I've never.
Let us know. You can call the regular Hey Homies hotline and tell us which character. 605-939.
I think it was
Piccolo.
Cell.
Oh, maybe it's Cell. You might be right. I don't know. I've only watched like a little bit of Dragon Ball. I don't know. I'm talking like I've ever watched enough of it to know anything.
Kay's Googling. So,
Damn.
but there was another puppy.
Actually, it might have
First-
been Piccolo, yeah.
So first Crash was tricked by a puppy, and now the Bat Commander was tricked by a puppy in space. We have a theme.
I don't blame them. I
No?
would probably, I mean, you could probably trick me with a puppy.
No, see, not me.
If I'm in space, I'd probably question a little bit more.
I'd be like, F off, puppy.
You know
But
what?
he was just knocked out, so
That's true.
he was a
woke
bit
up and-
delirious.
Woke up
so,
on the moon and saw a puppy running around.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go pet it. Yeah, so after the cartoon, we get back to the action and they track Manant down to this park where these people are having their nice picnic. And they start fighting. And the commander tells Ricky to run back to the battle tram and get the giant ant forks. Another
Which they just so happened to
Yeah.
have.
another 1960s Batman influenced thing right
Yeah.
there. Because that I'm surprised they didn't call them the Bat Forks.
They
You know what I
probably
mean?
gotten sued.
Yeah, but that if they had called them something like that, it would have been a blatant, rip off or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was definitely influenced by that. So they have the giant Bat Forks. Jimmy gets his arm ripped off, and then he proceeds to use it as a weapon. So, and I thought it was funny, like up to what, like his right before his elbow,
I think so,
metal.
yeah.
and then because it got ripped off like just above the elbow, and you could see like skin on the fake arm with the wires hanging out of it. He's
Yeah.
using it as a weapon, even though we see later on, because I don't think he used them in this episode, but he's got finger missiles. He could have used the finger missiles against those ants.
Jimmy plays down to his competition every single time they get into a fight. Like, you're literally an indestructible robot made
Mhm.
out of an N64. But like, you're
And Jello, don't forget Jello.
yeah. But every single time they fight somebody, Jimmy's like, all right, so how weak are you? That's how weak I am. Or just slightly below where you're at so that I keep losing.
He's got to make it even. Otherwise, they would win too fast.
Yeah, which is bad for TV, but good as superheroes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and
Oh,
we'll get into it later, but he kills somebody. He
Yeah.
kills
Got a
a
body
villain,
count.
and that's the one. Jimmy has a body count, and maybe that's why he goes easy on other villains.
we need
Because
that
he
down
knows that he could kill somebody if
in
he
the
wanted
bottom
to.
of the screen. The Jimmy body
Jimmy
count.
body count. Add
Yeah.
that to the video.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, we don't need it now.
We'll have to
Just
get some
Crash.
counters because I bet there's some stuff we're gonna count through the super. I know there's stuff I count all the time in Super Show.
Mhm. Yeah. So we see Crash grow again.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge.
Giant.
He would have
Big.
never
Big
fit in
as
that
his voice.
U-Haul.
No,
That U-Haul would have been way too small.
he could have used it as a roller skate.
Exactly. Yeah. So he
His
grows.
size is constantly inconsistent throughout the series, and I think that's one of the funniest parts about it.
Mhm.
Is just how inconsistent it is. Because he grows to the size of a gas station at some point. In Tortilla Trouble, he's the size of like 3 buildings stacked on top of each other. And then in the beginning of this episode, he can barely fit into a U-Haul.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it depends on how emotional he is.
Maybe.
Like Ricky Fitness was in trouble. Remember? That was his exact line. Commander,
Yeah.
help! Ricky Fitness is in trouble, or something like that.
Yeah.
He's speaking in the third person, and Crash gets upset because all of his friends are getting their butts kicked, and he just grows real big and starts kicking ants, and they just explode.
He just punts them into the sun.
You know, the commander was so hungry the whole episode, and he
Mhm.
was like fine after 1 mint.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy
I
shoots
was
that
about to
mint.
bring
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
up.
He doesn't. I don't think he knows what hungry is. I'm pretty sure he thinks hungry and bored are the same thing.
Probably.
Probably.
If he's bored, he just eats.
Yeah.
That's why, now he turns to the side during shows usually, and his stomach,
It's been some years.
it has. I'm right there with him.
Uh,
Maybe once Luke gets out of the army, he will be too.
no.
Oh, dad bods are in.
I have one point that was not on the notes before
Oh.
we get to the end of the episode.
Okay.
Do we remember where the fox showed up in this episode?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about either.
You two know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
The fox
There,
that
there's not
shows
a
up in
fox.
every single episode.
There's ants. Are you
Yeah, there's
talking about
ants in this episode. Yeah.
I can't tell whether you guys are joking or not.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm with Luke.
Be real with me. Are you guys joking or not?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
So
There's 5 Aquabats and like 2 big ants, and then a dude who calls himself Manant.
Mhm.
in
But it's
Some
every
henchmen.
in every single episode of Super Show proper, there's a guy in a fox costume that appears somewhere in the background of every single episode.
Are you on hallucinogenic drugs right now?
You said the last time you watched this was like 2 weeks ago. You might be thinking of some other show.
No, I'm not.
Pretty sure. Were you watching like Paw Patrol, maybe?
No.
There's dogs in that show. Yeah, it could be.
You guys have to be pulling my leg.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no fox in this show. I've never seen a fox in it. It wasn't on Fox. It was on the Hub.
Yeah, exactly. Why would they advertise for another cable company?
I know that there is a fox in every single episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a giant chicken. There's a
Later, there's
Grass.
some cats.
there's a grass monster.
There's laundry,
Yeah.
hand sanitizer. No, nothing.
So
Moon
Burger Rain.
Were you thinking about moon cheese?
Yeah, the driver of the moon.
I cut this out if you need to. Are you guys fucking with me or no?
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Joe,
I'm with Luke.
I swear if you two are pulling my leg on this.
So Burger Rain.
Luke is laughing. I can tell that he's joking.
Burger Rain. I love that Crash, like they have to remind Crash to keep throwing hamburgers or cheeseburgers or whatever on them. Like they have to stop the song and be like, "All right."
So was that a mountain or was it an anthill?
It was an anthill.
Yeah.
It was
Was
a
it?
giant anthill.
So the ants had time to build a giant anthill that they
Yes.
filled.
With burgers.
You ever watched Ants? They're
Well, I
efficient.
realize that, but okay, so we got the man ant immediately imprinted on Crash and called him mommy.
Mhm.
Those giant ants were all of, let's give them an hour old. And then they made a giant anthill.
He had all of his little minions
True.
with their sweet work boots.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are actually there are giant anthills in, I believe it was the Serengeti Plains.
How big?
Like
They get pretty
the
big.
size of a human.
Mhm.
So up here in Washington, we have these endangered ants. I don't know how they're endangered. There's billions of them, but they're endangered. Whatever, you can't mess with them. And they build ant mounds out of like pine needles and stuff that are up to my chest.
Mhm.
So I know that ants they build big things and they do it.
In Africa, they build pretty big anthills, and the animals like actually use them to itch.
Yeah. And
Science.
some animals actually, when they are out of food, like when they can't find anything to hunt or they don't have the energy to hunt, they will eat the ants out of those anthills.
They're not full of burgers.
No,
Oh, okay.
Tiny tacos.
I wish.
From Jack in the
Box has
Box.
those.
Yeah. So yeah, that Burger Rain, I kind of over the song. They play it every concert now, but that whole segment was, I just, it goes knocking into my microphone here. It fit in with the entire episode and the whole theme of the episode. I mean, just the goofiness. I mean, Bones up on the picnic table with the ketchup and mustard bottles, and he's squeezing them all over himself. Kay's disappeared. And yeah, like you said, them stopping in the middle to remind him to throw more.
The watching it when it was new and watching my kids when they were super little get into Burger Rain was awesome.
Mhm.
But I'm with you. I don't ever need to hear it again.
No.
It's fun in the episode. It is really fun.
Oh yeah,
But
and it
just-
fits with the theme. They got to eat finally, all that kind of stuff. But as far as like a in concert live thing, I don't need to hear it anymore. I was at a show where they threw paper burgers from the rafters down. I have a stack of them that I collected off the floor.
Of course you do.
Too bad they weren't real burgers. Like
I
the
wouldn't
old
have-
days,
I wouldn't have them anymore.
if they were burgers.
They'd be all rotted. It was years ago.
You have stinky shoes and stuff.
I don't have stinky shoes. Don
That's right,
bought those.
Don has stinky shoes.
And now somebody bought Ian's stinky shoes off of the Gloopy.
You have stinky clothes hanging on your wall.
I do, right there. There's one. You're right.
Of several.
It was a stinky. I opened it up, or I wouldn't say I sniffed it before I put it in the frame, but I would have been able to tell if it was stinky.
Every Aquabat that's listening to this right now is like, I'm never selling that guy anything again. This is
Up
getting
for auction. If it's up for auction, they don't have a choice. The almighty dollar speaks. So unless you guys have anything else on Manant, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah, I really, really like this episode.
Mhm.
It was a great way to start the Super Show.
Mhm.
This is one of those things. It's like how I talk about on Hey Homies, which I wish I could go back to like 1999 and see the Floating Eye of Death tour again. Right?
Mhm.
It was so cool. I wish I could go back to the first time I watched this with my
Mhm.
kids.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. And this show, for everybody that listens, I'm sure everybody knows, but I have been known to make a power belt from time to time. This show is the reason that I do that. When I saw this first episode, for all the uniform nerds, there's like 3 different versions of belts that they wore in the show. The ones in this episode were more of like the Fury style. It looks like a wrestling belt. it has a blue circle behind Little Bat instead of the black that we know, and they're very, very like shiny silver. It's really cool. So yeah, if this show hadn't come out, I don't know that I'd be making belts.
Yep, it's a great first episode.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the first one they filmed, but when they sent him to the hub, this was the one that was picked because they felt like it was a strong starter.
Yeah.
Or so I've been
Right.
told.
They were right.
So, all right, I think that wraps us up for our first episode. We want to thank everybody from Patreon that has supported us, that gets to listen to this early. And if you're listening to it later on the when it's finally released to the main feed, thank you for listening too. And you might want to think about joining the Patreon because you get this and a lot of other cool perks for those 2 levels. So other than that, I say we're out of here. See you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.